All right. Now, our next problem today is about something else we've been learning about. We've been learning about plants this week. And so I started thinking about one of the plants that we had in our classroom the other day that was one of the plants that you can eat. This was a plant that I thought was so interesting because when you open up, it came in a little pod. And when you opened up the pod, you could find the seeds inside. Does anyone remember what plant that was? What plant has the seeds inside it, inside that little pod? Like, I know it's not strawberries. They grow around the fruit. It's not an apple because those are inside the fruit. They're in the core. Which one has those pods? Holly, do you remember what it is?
The bean.
Yeah, it was the bean. So here's a picture. Remember when we had that bean plant? When you opened the bean, what did you see inside?
Seeds.
They're seeds. These are the seeds inside here. So if you were a farmer and you wanted to plant beans, where would you go get your seeds? Maya?
The market.
You could go to the market. What if you had some of these bean pods? What could you do, Maya?
From the garden.
You could just get bean pods from your garden and open them up and get the seeds out. So that's what I was imagining today in today's problem. Here's today's problem. So let's have a look up here. Gardener Juliet. Do you want to be a gardener when you grow up? Not really. Okay, I just guessed that for you. Gardener Juliet has 6 bean pods, and each one of the pods has 10 bean seeds inside it. And she also has 2 extra seeds. Can you see those 2 extra seeds right there? So she's got the pods. Each pod has 10. You can't see all the seeds in that picture. She has 2 extra seeds. So I want to know, how many seeds does she have? Let me repeat that again. You start thinking in your brain. Maybe you're already thinking of some ways to count and solve it now. Maybe you're thinking of a strategy that you're going to use. Gardener Juliet has 6 bean pods. Each pod has 10 bean seeds inside. She also has 2 extra seeds. So how many seeds does she have? Juliet, how do you think you might solve it?
By tens.
By like that strategy you were using earlier, counting by tens? Okay, that might be a great way to solve it. Okay, tell me about how you solved it. You had the same thing as what Juliet did?
I did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, then 61, 62.
Okay, Ellen, how about you? How are you solving it?
Well, I just drew 6 lines for the bean pods.
Okay. And then why did you put 10 here?
Because of the beans.
Okay, so that's like the 10 seeds in here. And then there's 10 more, so you put 20. That makes sense to me. Does that make sense to you, Ashton?
2 more for the 2 more beans.
Yeah, that seems great. That seems really similar to what Ashton and Juliet were doing. They did it in their heads, and you did it with a drawing here. So what did you figure out? How many seeds does she have?
62.
62. All right, very good. If you guys are finished, you can either change the number, write your own problem, do some facts. I want to hear how more other people solve the problem today, okay?
This is kind of hard.
This is kind of a challenging problem, right? So just give up, right?
No.
Start crying?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, so what strategy do you think you might try to figure this out?
10.
Okay. So you want to try modeling it? Okay, so let me read it to you. Juliet has 6 bean pods. Now, did you understand what a bean pod was? Okay. Remember in science the other day when we went around to all the tables and we looked at the different types of plants that we eat? Remember when we opened up the bean and inside were the seeds? This is called a bean pod. So she had 6 of those, and when she opened them, she had 10 seeds inside each one. Okay. Is there a way you could show that?
Get 6 of these.
Okay. So these are the bean pods.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so let me see if I'm understanding. It looks like you're saying this is the bean pod, and then these are the seeds inside it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you have 6 of these pods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I see this is your 7th one. Did you want to have 7 pods?
No.
Okay, because there's 6 pods. Okay, so you keep mulling. So 10 here. How many seeds does this bean pod have?
10.
Let's just put these, they're kind of fun. Let's put them off to the side. Okay, you keep mulling that. I may want to show that one to the class. Gardner Juliet has 6 bean pods. Where are the bean pods?
6.
So these are the bean pods, these right here?
Read these are.
Okay, so these are the bean pods here? So how many bean pods do we need?
6.
Okay.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Okay, are there 6 bean pods here?
No. We need one more.
Okay. So, and then, oh, I like how you use these. Why did you choose these?
Because
What's
it's
special about
faster.
these? It's faster, and does this show you the number of seeds that are inside each pod?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's a great idea. Then how many extra seeds does she have?
6.
Let's go back and read it. Let's see. Gardner Juliet has 6 bean pods. Each pod has 10 bean seeds inside. That's what you showed right here, right? She also has 2 extra seeds.
These are the 2 extras.
Let's see them.
I mean 6 or was it 2?
What does it say? You see what number is that right there?
6
She also has 2 extra seeds.
extra seeds.
So how many extra seeds?
2.
2. Can you show that? Okay. Okay, so then the question is, how many seeds does she have?
52.
Let's count them and see.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 20, 30, 40, 50. 61, 62.
62 seeds, yeah. Okay, go ahead and put your answer in a box. Okay, so Leah, now it looks like you've got all your beans showing here. Now, so Juliet has 6 bean pods. Is that what we have here?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And they
Each, go ahead.
And they each have 10 inside it.
Okay, so each have 10 seeds inside. And then there was this part. She also has 2 extra seeds. Are you showing that somewhere? Okay, now here's the question. What was the question? Do you remember it?
No.
How many seeds does she have?
No.
How many seeds does she have now? Yeah. So how many seeds are there?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55.
Okay, so 55. Okay, let's put 55 in a box here. Now, what did you guys get?
I got 62.
What did you get?
I got 60.
You got 62, you got 60, you got 55. So don't mix them up yet. I want to show these to the class. And as we were in the room, I saw people solving it in different ways, and I even saw some people getting some different numbers. So let's look at it together and see if we can figure out what is the answer. How many seeds does Juliet have? Harley, will you please sign your bottom crisscross applesauce? Okay, now first of all, Leah, would you come up here? So what Leah did was she put out a cube for each bean pod, right, Leah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many cubes did you put out, the big cubes?
6.
Okay, there were 6 bean pods. Then she went around and you put 10 seeds around each bean pod. Is that correct? And I think maybe these were your 2 extra ones off to the side. Now, Leah, will you show us? I'm not going to have you count all of them. Will you show us, though, how you were counting these?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62.
Now, earlier when you were counting by ones. Remember, you were counting like this. Can you show me how you were counting by ones?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, and you went all the way through and you got 55. What do you think caused you to get those 2 different numbers?
I didn't count by tens. I count.
Does it change the number when you count by tens? Does the number change? No, but what can happen when you count by ones sometimes? What can happen sometimes, Rebecca?
You get a little mixed up.
Sometimes. Sometimes when you're counting a big number, like 56, you can get mixed up. So do you think it's 62 now? You think it was 62 from what you got here? Let's look at some other people's and see what they got. So this is how Leah modeled it. Okay, Leah, can you go have a seat? Okay, then Devin, will you come show us how you modeled yours?
I did this here.
Okay, and what are those there?
Tins.
Okay, and what were you pretending they were?
Beans.
Okay, the beans. And the cool thing about these is each one of these has tin in it, just like the seeds. Okay, and then what are these over here?
The 2 seeds.
Okay, would you count those for us and see what you think it is?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62.
62. So you got 62, and Leah got 62. Now, thank you, Devin. You can go have a seat. That's one way to do it, by modeling it. Okay, Ashton, will you come up to the front here? Okay, now, Ashton, can you tell us, stand right up here at the front so everybody can see you, how did you solve it? What were you thinking?
When you were talking, I was thinking in my head, 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, then 60, then 62.
You just skipped count over to those 2 more. So I saw some of you guys doing that one too, keeping track with your fingers, but counting those 10, the 6 bean pods, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then you just skipped right over to 62. Is that what you did also, Juliet? Okay, Ashton, go have a seat. Well, thank you, mathematicians. You did an excellent job today. Wow, you worked hard. You should feel proud of yourself. Pat your back.